The Stonewall Inn in New York's Greenwich Village is renowned as the site of a major uprising by the LGBT community that sparked the modern equality movement.
Gay people stood up and said no.
In the late 1960s, the bar was run by the mafia and offered a rare safe haven for marginalised drag queens, transgender people, lesbians, homeless youth and male prostitutes.
Because you couldn't show any affection out in the street.
Police raids on gay bars were commonplace, as homosexuality was illegal in almost all US states. But this night was different. In the early hours of Saturday, June 28, 1969, rather than going quietly, lesbian, gay and trans patrons and a growing number of local residents fought back.
It started off small, but there was an energy that began to flow through the crowd.
In the 50s and 60s, homosexuals were considered deviants, invisible to wider society, with many dishonourably discharged from the armed services.
2 out of 3 Americans look upon homosexuals with disgust, discomfort, or fear.
Early LGBT organisations, the Mattachine Society and Daughters of Bilitis, attempted to give visibility to the community and provide a non-threatening image of gay men and women.
We wanted to be part of the mainstream society.
Increased visibility resulted in a homophobic response. Public information films warned of the dangers of the homosexual.
What Jimmy didn't know was that Ralph was sick. You see, Ralph was a homosexual.
Law enforcement became more heavy-handed, and state-enforced chemical castrations and lobotomies provided a cure.
Homosexuality is in fact a mental illness.
In 1959, the queer patrons at Cooper Donuts in Los Angeles staged a protest of police harassment, the first rumblings of a movement that would sweep the globe. In 1966, a small riot at Compton's cafeteria in San Francisco resulted from an attempt to arrest men in women's clothing, which was a crime.
All the sugar shakers went through the windows.
The same year at Julian's Bar in New York City, a trio of gay activists staged a sip-in, announcing themselves as gay and ordering a drink. A bold act when serving openly gay customers could result in a bar having its liquor license revoked.
These homosexuals glorify unnatural sex acts.
By the late 60s, Greenwich Village had become a gay mecca, where New York's LGBT community came together and felt safe in numbers to challenge their oppressors and declare we're as good as you. 1 year on from the Stonewall Uprising, the first Pride protest marches took place in Manhattan, Los Angeles, San Francisco and Chicago, spreading around the world in the coming decades.
And I looked back, and there were about 2,000 people behind us, and that's when I knew it had happened.
In 2016, the Stonewall National Monument was established, while the inn and other important locations became listed heritage sites.
It's almost impossible for young gay people to understand what it was like back then.
In 2019, to honour the 50th anniversary of the riots, New York City commissioned statues of trans activists Marsha P. Johnson and Sylvia Rivera, and New York hosted World Pride, in honour of its pivotal role in setting our people free.